Situated in India's federal state of Uttar Pradesh, and with a population of several million, the former Banaras is the most important of the 7 holy cities of the Hindu faith. Ten kilometres northeast is the village of Sarnath, which for Buddhists is as important as Banaras for the Hindus. Sarnath is often referred to as the birthplace of Buddhism. It's believed that Buddha delivered his first sermon here following his Enlightenment. Since Buddha's sermon in 528 BC, the doctrine extended across large areas of Asia. Thus, the village of Sarnath gradually developed. The village's once prosperous monastery buildings highlighted the significance of Sarnath as being one of the most important centers of Buddhism. Even today, the remains of this holy place have a certain atmosphere that each day attracts large groups of pilgrims. Most of Sarnath's historic buildings are now in ruins. When the Muslims came to power, it brought about a great wave of destruction. However, although the buildings are in ruins, Buddhists continue to visit the remains of Sarnath's monasteries and temples. The Dharmamic Stupa, that dates back to the 5th century, is the most well-preserved building in Sarnath and demonstrates just how splendid this place once was. After a short journey, we reached Banaras, that is today known as Varanasi. The fascinating hustle and bustle on the Ganga, which is what the Indian people call the river Ganges, begins at dawn. And there's a great deal going on. The holy river comes to life when the first boats cast off and the local merchants are supplied with fresh products. The fastest and most comfortable way to discover the Banaras promenade is by boat. Its western banks are fascinating. Masses of pilgrims from all over India come here to the Ghats, the holy bathing places of the Hindus, where they wash their sins away with the waters of the Ganges. In Banaras, more than 90 Ghats, temples and other sanctuaries flank the river for 6 kilometres, a truly colourful sight. The religious spectacle along the riverbanks that is performed by the Hindus usually begins in the south at the Ghats. In addition to ritual bathing, the Ganges is also used for such non-religious ceremonies as the washing of clothes. A magnificent scene. Unfortunately, this holy river of the Hindus is badly polluted. Most of the effluent from Banaras flows into the Ganges. So it is somewhat ironic that the river stands for spiritual purity, and if clothing can be cleaned in its dirty water, then that would really be a miracle. The wonderful sanctuaries on the riverbanks have lost nothing of their character and still impress those who see them. Ghats of Banaras not only serve a religious purpose, they also have a social function, chatting and exchanging news. Each Ghat has its own characteristic colour. Each day, the steps on the banks of the Ganges are crowded with hordes of pilgrims. One of the oldest places in Banaras, the Varanasi, is the Tulsi Ghat that is named after the sacred poet Tulsidas, who lived here in the 16th century. The city's most holy place is the Dasashmaveda Ghat. The final point on a boat tour on the river Ganges is the Manikarnika Ghat in the north. During both day and night, funeral pyres burn. Manikarnika Ghat is the most important and famous funeral ghat of the holy city of Banaras. To end one's life here is the highest aim of the Hindu, as it assures them salvation from the circle of birth and death. It is also said that here, Shiva whispers into the ears of the dying. And that is why many terminally ill and aged Hindus come to Banaras. On a traditional boat, we travel to the opposite banks of the holy river Ganges. Even from a distance, the Ghats of Banaras are a marvelous sight. The picturesque area on the western banks of the Ganges is often used by India's film industry as a backdrop for various movie productions. Each day, thousands of pilgrims come to the holy center of the city, and the main attraction is not only the Ghats, but the river itself. The city's animals also come to the riverbanks. Cows are worshipped by the Hindus. Every evening, traditional prayer ceremonies end the day on the Ganges in the holy city of Banaras, a city full of living religion and ritual ceremonies. At sunset, during prayer time, and when the faithful light numerous oil lamps, small bells ring out along with the sound of various holy mantras. Each of the evening rituals that is performed on the historic Banaras promenade is a fantastic, mystic spectacle. The traditional oil lamps create a festive atmosphere. Banaras, India's holy city, is today not only a symbol of religious faith, it's also the home of many colourful Hindu rituals.